to the public meeting of the Board of Trustees for Coast Mountain School District. I'd like to start our meeting by recognizing we are conducting our business today on the traditional territory of the Tsimshian people, and we are also in the provision of public education, conduct our business on the territories of the Haisla, Gitxsan, and Nisga'a peoples. Thank you for joining our Board of Education meeting this evening in person, as well as live stream via our CMS 82 YouTube channel. Welcome to the meeting. I'm not sure we have any guests on the screen. Does anybody see if anybody has joined us on the screen? We won't see anything? Okay. So I'd like to start by introducing myself as Margaret Workup, trustee from Terrace and Chair, and I'll start on my right with Sandy to introduce yourself.
Sandy Watson, trustee for Thornhill.
Raymond?
Raymond Raj, trustee from Kidwell and vice chair.
Sure.
Shar McCrory, trustee from Hazington, Upper Skeena.
Karen Youngman, trustee for Kidnap.
Ed Harrison, trustee for Terrace.
Angela Brandenuser, trustee from Stewart.
Janet, can I ask you to introduce your team?
Absolutely, absolutely. My name is Janet Meyer. I'm superintendent of schools for Coast Mountain School District, and I will go to my right.
I'm Ginger Fuller, Secretary Treasurer.
I'm Rob Shipley, Director of Facility Services.
Julia McClaus, director of instruction, learning support.
Julia Baker, director of instruction and business education.
Karen Back, director of human resources.
Carol's whispering over there.
Are you signaling me?
Yes, I
I'm
am.
Carol Daniel. I'm the executive assistant, and I just wanted to share with board chair at work that we have a guest this evening, and I believe it's Greg Smith, if I'm correct.
Welcome.
Hi, Carol.
Hi, how are you?
Greg. Welcome. Thank you. Just a couple of opening comments. And this last month, there's been a couple of days where we can reflect on awareness of National Indigenous Veterans Day and our Remembrance Day on November 11th. Plus, I received a note from our BC representative for Children and Youth, Dr. Jennifer Charlesworth, reminding us that World Children's Day was on November 20th. This day was established in 1954 as a universal Children's Day to each year promote international togetherness, awareness amongst children worldwide, and improving children's welfare. It's been 38 years since the treaty was ratified by Canada. The UNRIC includes 54 articles that spell out rights to health, safety, well-being, culture, and education to which every child in the world is entitled to. It was also on November 20th that the UN General Assembly adopted the Declaration of Rights of the Child and the Convention on the Rights of the Child. I know those rights guide much of the work that we do. May reflections on these days be inspirational for translating dialogues and actions that we can all work together to have a better world for children. I'd also like to, and I know others here can share, some of us were honored to be able to see Bunk 7 on the weekend, and I'd like to have special mention to Sualax Community School student Christopher Peel, who was part of the cast in the role of Ernie in Bunk 7. This play, written by Larry Gnu, was held at the REM League Theatre on November 20th and 21st, and his performance was outstanding. All of the actors were outstanding, but little Ernie really did catch my heart that way. We've introduced ourselves, and so I'd like to now call the meeting to order, get rid of the technology that's blocking being able to see, and go back to here. We do not have to consider participation by electronic means, and we do have a quorum. Your whole Board of Trustees are here. I would like to have approval of the agenda with one addition, 13.2. I will do underneath trustees reports. I will do a personnel report that I will share at that time. Can I have a motion to accept the approval of the agenda? Sandy. Seconder, Karen. All in favor? Okay, pass the beginning of our agenda, we have a question period. If any questions were submitted ahead of time, but I didn't have any, so we will move on to approval of the minutes of the prior meeting, October 27th, 2021. Could I have a motion for that, please?
So moved.
Thank you, Angela.
Second.
Second by Shar. Any errors or omissions? Not seeing any. Can we have approval of the minutes? All in favor? Passed. Next, at 7.1, the summary of the in-camera meeting held October 27th, 2021. And I have a motion to accept that, please.
Second.
Ed and Raymond. Any errors or omissions to note? Seeing none, all in favor? Pass. Business arising from the minutes. I have a short statement that I will read out so that we are updated on the K-12 vaccination policy. In consultation with Northern Medical Health and through weighing the current evidence, impact and consequences of developing vaccination policies, we at this time are not making any policy decisions. We will continue to be diligent in addressing our responsibility to keep schools open while making health and safety a constant priority. We will continue to monitor and collect input from both Northern Health and professional health professionals. In doing so, we are confirming our belief that health is where the expertise lies, and any decisions regarding a vaccination mandate should be made by our medical professionals. I submit that for information. Correspondence received. 9.1, letter from the First Nations Leadership Council of November 12th, 2021. Can I have a motion to accept this letter? Receive this letter? Sandy? Karen? Any questions or comments? Barb?
So we've received a letter with concerns from the First Nations Leadership Council. And I'm wondering if we have responded or we are planning on responding to our workup. And if so, in consideration of responding, that we could reach out to perhaps the Haisla Nation to see if they would respond jointly with the Board of Education to this letter, as we are working diligently with them, I believe.
Thank you. Having just received the letter, there's been no response to date. I think your suggestion is a good step forward if everybody agrees. Do you feel we need a motion, or are you okay with just putting it forward to us to respond? Working with the high school.
Well, you have a motion on the table, so maybe you could make the motion and then I can make another motion.
Okay,
so
perfect. Everybody agreed to accepting the letter? Passed. And then I turn it to you, Shar.
Okay, so I'll put the motion forward that we reach out to the Haisla Nation to see if they would be willing to do a joint return letter in response to the letter received from the First Nations Leadership Council.
Second.
Seconded by Raymond. Any question or comments? All in favor? Pass. Any further comment or business coming forward from the letter? Seeing none, we can move to the Superintendent of Schools monthly report for November 2021. We require a motion to accept.
So moved.
Angela and
Second.
Raymond. Any comment or additions to your report, Superintendent, that you wish to add there?
No additions, Chair Warcup, but I would like to express my anticipation towards the Caledonia School musical that is taking place on December 9th, 10th, and 11th. I'm very excited to take part, to be in the audience. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. Any questions from trustees for the report? None. All in favor, which I think we did pass. Thank you. Standing committees, business committee report, trustee Raymond Raj.
Meeting agenda item 11.1.1. This is on pages 18 to 20 of your agenda package. I move that the minutes of business committee meeting held on November 10, 2021 be received for information.
Seconder. Yeah. Questions? All in favor? Pass.
The next item on the agenda is 11.1.2, quarterly financial statement, September 30th, 2021. In accordance to the budget monitoring and reporting guidelines proposed by the Financial Health Working Group for a School District of BC, all the school districts must provide the Board of Education or committee of the board with the minimum quarterly financial reports which indicate forecasted results compared with actual quarterly financial reports which indicates forecast results compared with the actual budget, and offer a discussion and analysis as necessary to fully communicate financial performance and key risks. Quarterly results and projections to June 30th should be provided at September 30th, December 31st, and March 31st of each year. This will allow the board to monitor the school district's financial position throughout the year on an ongoing basis and the expected year-end position. Attached for the board's consideration is the quarterly financial statement as at September 30th, 2021 for Coast Mountain School District, and it is on pages 21 to 25 of your agenda. The business committee reviewed the quarterly financial statement at its meeting held on November 10, 2021, and brings forward to the board for information. I move that the board receive for information the quarterly financial statements as at September 30th, 2021.
Seconder. Thank you, Angela. Any questions? All in favor of the motion? Yes, thank you.
The next item on the agenda is 2021-2022 restart funding. These are on pages 26 and 27 of your agenda. Attached for reference is the 2021-2022 restart funding table provided for trustees information regarding the COVID-19 funding grant received by the school district province-wide for the 2021 and 2022 school year. In August 2021, the province announced the provision of $43.6 million to support ongoing health and safety measures. Don't get too excited because this $43.6 million was for all 60 school districts. Our share was below $200,000. First Nations and Métis students, mental health services, rapid response teams, and to address learning impact to students. The following outlines the funding grants received by Coast Mountain School District for the 2021-22 school year as referenced on the attached table, which is on next page. The one-time COVID-19 recovery plan grant funding in the amount of $74,932 was provided to address the impact of isolation and stress on students and staff in the response to COVID-19 pandemic and response measures to support the recovery from the pandemic. The one-time health and safety grant funding in the amount of $121,915 was provided to support the safe return to BC schools with necessary cleaning and disinfecting, hand hygiene for students and staff, ventilation improvement, and restock supplies of personal protection equipment. The business committee received the 2021-22 restart funding information at its November 10, 2021 meeting and forwards to the board for information. I move that the board receive the 2021-2022 restart funding information outlining the COVID-19 funding grants received by Coast Mountain School District for the 2021-2022 school year.
Seconder. Karen. Any question? All in favor of receiving the 2021-2022 restart funding? All done. All in favor, passed. 11.14.
The next one on the agenda is 11.1.4, new policy 2040, Public Interest Disclosure Act, second and final reading. This policy went to all the partner group for feedback, and it came back. And the board looked at it, so this is the final reading for this policy. The new policy 2040, Public Interest Disclosure Act, received first reading at June 16, 2021 regular board meeting and was circulated to the partner group for feedback. There was no feedback received, so the policy was all okay. It is on pages 26 to 31 of your agenda. I move that the new policy 2040 Public Interest Disclosure Act be presented to the board for second and final reading at the November 24, 2021 regular board meeting.
Seconded. Thank you, Ed. Question? All in favor? Passed.
And if anybody is interested, all our CMSD policies are on our CMSD webpage. You can find it there.
Thank you. 11.2, the Education Committee report, trustee Angela.
Thank you, Chair. We didn't have any action items, sorry. We didn't have any action items at our meeting this time, but as usual, it was a wonderful meeting, as always. So I just would like to move that the minutes from the Education Committee meeting held on November 10th, 2021 be received for information.
Seconder. Raymond, thank you. Any questions for Angela on the reports? Lots of great information. Char.
I'd just like to make a comment that one of the things that was brought forward was the proposal. Oh, never mind. Well, it was in those minutes anyway, right, from the Indigenous Education Council proposal. It was in the Indigenous meeting. That's part of your minutes. Yeah,
And it was discussed.
and it was discussed and supported at the Education Committee. So I look forward to that planning going forward.
Thank you. We move on to new business. The board chair report is on pages 84 to 85. I have a motion to accept my report. Sandy, seconder. Thank you, Shar. Any questions on the report? Seeing none, I'd like to move forward to 13.1A. The Board of Education of Coast Mountain School District wishes to accept, no, we don't really, but wishes, don't put them in the minutes that way, please, Carol. To announce the retirement of Janet Meyer, Superintendent of Schools, effective August 31st, 2022. We sincerely want to thank Janet for her work and her years of service in our district and to the larger education community. We will be working with Janet in this transition to her retirement, and we wish you all the best in retirement.
Thank you very much.
Then we can move on to the BCPC delegate report. I so move acceptance of my report on page 86 to 89. Can I have a second?
How about I'll make that motion?
Okay, thanks, Angela. Yeah.
I'll second it.
Second, Raymond. Any questions on what's happening with BCPC and all the education that we received? All in favor? Thank you. Trustee reports. We start going around the table. Yeah.
So I just want to give a shout out as well to pump number 7 and to a job well done. And as well to remind everybody about the Caledonia show, Catch Me If You Can. And tickets are on sale at Misty River, and the show dates are December 9th, 10th, and 11th. If there's even tickets left. I don't know if there's tickets left.
Other trustees with the report? Ray?
Yeah, because I think all the board members, they received the letter from Mount Elizabeth Secondary School back. When we go to Parents Advisory Committee meeting nowadays, the main thing we hear is about vaccination. As you have had, our board chair reported on that today. We as a board, we are working on it. We are trying our best to please everybody, but we believe that this is the job of the health providers, not the trustees. But we are still working on it, and we want to let the teachers, the parents, and everyone know that we will do the right thing, but we want to do it right. That's why it is taking some time.
Thank you, Ray. Others? Sharp?
I want to give a shout out to Hazington Secondary School Athletics.
Right, yes.
The Hazington Senior Girls Volleyball Team came silver in the zones, and the senior boys won the zones and are going to the provincials. Yay! Donate to Hazington Secondary School. They have a short period of time to raise a whole bunch of money to get a whole bunch of kids from Hazington to Victoria. Thank you.
I'd like to congratulate Cassie Paul. They had a day organized by Erica Barton, who's the librarian. The whole school was working on for about a 6-week period of what you can do with boxes collectively. And it was really, truly a marvelous project to walk through. And I know Ginger was there because I saw her. And I thought that was really great. It's based on a critical thinking project that Erica came across. I was also invited to and attended the PAC meeting at Uplands, and they are alive and well, and we didn't talk about vaccinations. So I thought that was great.
Other trustees with the report? Karen?
In the beginning of November, I went and spent the morning at Kitimat City High, visiting with the students, with the staff, having a tour of the school. It was a really nice visit. Students were very open, talking about their issues, concerns, what they liked about the school, what they'd like to see. It was really nice to see their bees and their smokehouse that they had built. It was really enjoyable. And I was invited for the November 11th Remembrance Day ceremonies at Kildalis School. So yeah, I spent the morning there as well, had a tour of the school, spoke with students, teachers, and attended their ceremony, which was very well done. It was very well done, and I enjoyed it very much. Thank you.
Others? So that's the trustees' reports. We're going to move into new business, which is the elections. But prior to that, I wanted to ask if our guest has any questions on the items on the agenda.
Thank you for that.
No, we appreciate you coming and being
Yeah,
interested.
Yeah, with reference to the item 7 or item 9, the high blood council did your office expressed the concerns. So they already know what the position is. So that was an observation.
Great, thank you. Other questions or thoughts?
Yeah, I'm not sure what this is for the discussion with the status of the question that we discussed, or is that in the
That's all in camera.
Yeah.
Thank you for asking.
Yep.
And clarifying. Okay, we will move on then to new business, 14.1, school board elections. trustee elections and we'll move it to Ginger.
Good evening, everyone. So the first piece of business is to appoint 14.1.1, appoint scrutineers. And today I have appointed Director Nykars and Director Jacobs as scrutineers for the board elections. And so we will move now to 14.1.2. So basically, there is a number of positions available this evening. We'll be doing elections for chair, vice chair, BCPC delegate, BCPC alternate, BCSTA provincial councillor, and BCSTA alternate. And then we will be doing ballots as necessary. So to start off, I'd like to call for nominations for the position of chair.
I nominate trustee Walker.
I call for nominees for a second time for chair. Trustee Warcup, will you let your name stand?
Yes, I will.
Second call for nominations for chair. And the third and final call for nominations for chair. So given that we have only one nomination that stands, I would like to congratulate Trustee Warcup as being the acclaimed, thank you. Thank you. Board chair, thank you very much. Okay, so our next position is for vice chair, and I'm looking for nominations for the position of vice chair.
I nominate trustee McCory.
Trustee McCory, will you let your name stand?
I thought you said it.
Yeah, now. Sure. Okay. I'm calling for a nomination for vice chair for a second time.
I'll nominate William.
Trustee Raj, do you let your name stand for vice chair? And a third and final call for nominations for vice chair. So have we been given our sheets of paper? Because we have more than one nomination that has been accepted, we will be collecting ballots. Our scrutineers will in the room next door count the ballots, and we will then announce the, I don't know if the word is winner or not, but thank you very much.
Musical interlude.
Yes.
Like
Would
to
you
sing?
like to sing?
I'll take the rest. I do a really good jazz job.
I think we'll pass.
I do that, Ross. Don't think I'm supposed to though. Don't trip.
Yeah. So I am happy to announce that congratulations to trustee McCrory in being elected vice chair. Next, we will be doing elections for Bcpc delegates. Do I have any nominations for this position? Sandy,
I nominate trustee Harrison.
trustee Harrison, will you let your name stand?
The thing is, I don't know anything about it. And to represent you puts you at a disadvantage. This will be my first event to watch the bigger program. And I think that counts for something.
Okay, would you like the previous delegate to explain some of the positions to you in case you would like to reconsider?
I won't reconsider.
Okay. I'm looking for nominations for a second time for BCPC delegate.
I nominate Margaret.
Margaret? I will accept. I've been doing it. Okay. Calling for a third and final time for nominations for BCPC delegate.
I'd like to nominate trustee Youngman.
Trustee Youngman, will you let your name stand?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Once again, since we have more than one nomination, we will be doing a ballot. And our scrutineers will come and collect your ballots.
Sorry.
Janice.
We weren't wrong about it.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I'd like to congratulate trustee Youngman. BCPC delegate. And now I'm looking for nominations for BCPC alternate. Char,
I'd like to nominate trustee Wilcox.
you accept. Okay.
Yes, please.
I would like to call for nomination for a second time for the BCPC alternate. And finally, a third and final time for the BCPC alternate. Hearing no further nominations, I congratulate trustee Workup as the BCPC alternate. So now I'm looking for nominations for BCSDA Provincial Counselor. Shar,
I'd like to nominate trustee Denuser.
trustee Denuser, do you accept the nomination? And looking for nominations a second time for BCSDA Provincial Counselor. And for BCSDA Provincial Counselor for the third and final time. Hearing no further nominations, I congratulate trustee User, acclaimed as the BCSDA Provincial Counselor.
Thank you.
I'm calling for nominations on the BCSDA alternate position.
I nominate trustee Harris.
As trustee Harrison, will you let your name stand as the alternate for the BCSTA? That's a yes, okay. And for a second time for alternate for BCSTA. And a third and final time. Hearing no further nominations, I'd like to congratulate trustee Harrison, acclaimed as the BCSTA alternate. And finally, I will be looking for a motion to destroy all ballots.
So moved.
I'll second that.
And that's it. I'll hand the meeting back to Margaret. What?
Motion to destroy.
You have to get.
Oh,
all in
that wasn't
favor.
me.
Yeah, also.
Do I have to call that? Oh, can I have a motion?
No, you did that.
Oh,
No, you
yeah.
called it.
Called it.
All those in favor?
All in favor. Thank you, people.
And the motion is carried.
Motion is carried. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
We can have now a motion to adjourn. Our agenda.